Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Well, the Saints inked 16 undrafted free agents, and I think we all know following this team a spot where they are looking for help and reinforcements is on the interior defensive line. Kyler Baugh is defensive tackle from Minnesota, signed with the New Orleans Saints. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us now. Kyler, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Man, it's our pleasure. Thanks for making the time. Hey, man, talk to me about that the frenetic process at the end of the draft whenever ultimately you got to make a decision as a UDFA. Walk me through that, those final picks of round 7, and then whenever, the draft ended, what that process was like for you.
Yeah, so with about 10 or so picks left, my phone started blowing up. I had about 6 to 8 teams calling me, blowing me up. It was crazy. It was like a very hectic 30 minutes. But decided on the Saints, thought it would be the best fit for me. And I feel good with my decision.
Were there teams that called you in the end of day 3 about the possibility of drafting you?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
It was really just, it's how the dice rolled. Is what it is.
When so you said there were 6 to 8 teams that called about signing you as an undrafted free agent. What was it about the Saints that made you make that decision?
So coming in to the draft, already made teams that I would like to go to as a free agent, and the Saints was one of them just because they run that 4 down, and I feel like I have a really good chance of making the 53-man roster.
What did you have a lot of contact with the Saints during the process?
Not too much. At my Senior Bowl at the College Gridiron Showcase, they talked to me. One of the scouts did, and he really liked me. We had a really good connection, and that was really it, though.
And if I had asked you, so before the draft started, right? If I had asked you, hooked you up to a lie detector and said, "Hey, Kyler, where do you think you're going? Where do you think this process ends up?" What would you have said?
I probably would have said the Bills.
Really? Why?
Because they was in contact with me a lot throughout this whole process. They texted me during the draft and all this stuff, and they just didn't pick me up. And Saints got me before they did.
Were they one of the teams that offered as UDFA?
Yes.
Oh, so why New Orleans and not Buffalo if Buffalo was so interested all along?
Really, they already had commitments before they contacted me, and the Saints, they wanted me without having other people contacting.
It's so wild how that process goes, man. I love hearing these stories from guys that signed as UDFAs, because it's just it's such a wild, frenetic process there in those 10 or so minutes after the draft and how it all plays out. But Kyler Baugh ends up in New Orleans with the Saints. Your journey's an interesting one because you did the small school thing and then used the transfer portal to go from Houston Baptist to Minnesota, where you spent a couple of years. If I asked you now, with the benefit of hindsight, and there's always so much conversation about the portal, do you think the portal worked for you? Are you glad the portal existed to afford you the opportunity to make that jump you did into the Big Ten?
Yes, I'm very grateful for the portal. But I feel like whenever I entered, it wasn't as money crazy as it is now. I'm very grateful for the portal because it allowed me to play at a higher level.
Hey, what do you think would have happened, Kyler, if there weren't a portal and you didn't have the option? Would you have just you stayed at Houston Baptist? Have you given any thoughts how your career, how your path might have been different?
Yeah, I do. I think about it all the time. God has a plan for a reason, but if I would have stayed at Houston, I feel like I could have fought my way in kind of the same position I am today.
Man, you have a former teammate that's on the Saints as well. We know Jordan Howden is a safety with the Saints. Did you all talk at all in the pre-draft process or since you've signed with New Orleans?
So whenever the news came out that I signed with the Saints, he texted me, and he was like, "Let's get ready to work." And I said, "Let's do it."
I love it, man. What was it like playing with him in college?
Yeah, it was really good. So coming into Minnesota, he was actually my mentor. So like he kind of just showed me the ropes of like how to expect things to be during practices and like where to go and places like that. And so I mean him like have a connection like that and playing on the field. I mean we played 13 games together. We got that chemistry too.
You know, rookie minicamp obviously is coming up later this week. What have you given any thought? Like, what's your expectation for this week coming down to New Orleans?
I really just want to learn from the best. I mean, these professional coaches, they are the best of the best, and I'm really excited to work with them, see how much better I can get.
Yeah, you know, you can't win. You mentioned making the 53-man roster. You can't win a roster spot in rookie minicamp, and after that, obviously, you'll have OTAs and things like that. But are there things this weekend? You said learn from the best, but things in this process that like you'd like to work on, or parts of your game you think you need to continue to improve as you move toward training camp?
I think really just like the big thing is just learning how to be a professional. I feel like that's really a big part of people in the NFL. Like this is our job now. So I feel like just learning how like the pros do things and ins and outs of how just being a professional really in general, and just getting better every single day.
What was the coldest day you had in Minnesota?
So the coldest day or coldest game?
Either.
So I'll tell you the coldest game. It was my first year at Minnesota. We was playing Iowa in late November. It was like -5, but it felt like -20. With like a 20-mile-an-hour wind. It was terrible. It was so cold.
Never got that cold in Oklahoma, did it?
Oh, no.
I certainly know it never got that cold in Houston. I know that for sure.
Definitely not.
And I guarantee you this, Kyler, it's going to be a lot warmer in the Superdome, brother. You ain't got to worry at all about ever playing in that in a home game anyway ever again.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And I promise the food's going to be much better, too, when you get down here.
I can't wait.
Kyler Baugh, Saints undrafted free agent defensive tackle out of Minnesota. Hey, man, thanks for a couple of minutes. Good luck, all right?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.